Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome yourselves to yet another ECC stream. We're here in week 9, second last day of league play officially here, and of course, as we approach the end of the regular season, there's still teams that are trying to fight for those playoff spots, and the two games are going to be no different for that. Of course, my name is Faded, and joining me in the booth for tonight is the one and only newly promoted moderator, Harvey. How are you, mate?
I'm really excited to be a mod. Been an enjoyable first 24 hours in the position, but no reason to give up my day job. Back in the casting booth for these next couple of matches, and both of them are going to be really exciting in terms of the playoff implications that they have, as of course you would expect, being on the penultimate day of league play with the playoffs looming large next week and beyond. They're sure to be real entertaining as well. But for now, we are watching MINKZ Luminous take on Morekats Gaming in the Champions Conference 3, and well, for MINKZ Luminous, they've already wrapped up top seed in the division, 7-1 record so far, and they cannot be caught. So a nice bit of, I suppose you wouldn't necessarily call it a rest game, this one, but they can ease off the gas pedal a little bit, as opposed to Morekats Gaming, who currently sit in 6th. 5th place will be a playoff position, with the Sensor squad being a reserve team and occupying that position. So I think it is safe to say that Morekats Gaming, to make the playoffs, if they win twice, they'll be in. If they win once, they're going to be made to wait, but they've pretty much got to win once. If they fail to win either of their 2 remaining games, they're going to be out.
Yeah, it's quite simple. The conditions here for Morekats getting in, and these 2 games proving not to be easy ones. They've got, of course, MINKZ coming up now, and then the Central squad actually in an hour's time. So yeah, 2 really tough games, but if they can close out both of them, then we're going to be putting themselves in prime position for that playoff spot. Whereas with 1-1, they've got to rely on others. So big work cut out from Morekats. MINKZ, they can chill out with this one if you really want to, but I'm sure they're still going to go for the win because their overall playoff seeding does get affected, so maybe they want to grab that 8-1 record. But I think enough chatting here. We're just going to send the teams on their way and get straight into this one.
Well, 2 consecutive matches for Morekats Gaming is always a difficult ask when you're right here at the end of the season and you come across the matches that you really need to win. But we'll see if perhaps they benefit from taking on a MINKZ side that may not be as desperate to win this match. As you said, I'm sure they're still going to play close to the best of their ability, but there might just be opportunities to catch them on the counter-attack where they're lacking focus.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, we're now going into this game. We've got MINKZ Luminous and Morekats Gaming. Of course, Morekats side of ones really needing a victory in this one, as early on we see Vito trying to get this one down the field. Fernsey upfield, and now it is into Chris. He puts it off the post early. Blue for the follow-up shot. Not enough power to get past Vito though. And now coming down the field for the counter-attack. A 2-on-1 Snowy takes an early shot towards Chris. Does get the block. Vito, not the touch he was looking for there. Omit has to try make a center, which is oh my, he was threatening for that shot there, but now it looks for Fernsey on the counter.
Well, no score in the first minute or so of this game. Bit of a sketchy start, but there have been opportunities for both sides, and that does bode well for the neutral perspective in the rest of the series as Snowy tries to divert this ball goalwards. Blue had a little bit of trouble with it in front. Vito went up for it on the rebound, but Brownsy is going to get a relatively straightforward clear on that. You can see from Morekats Gaming that they clearly know what's at stake in this series, but they have unfortunately conceded the first goal. It's going to be Chris dunking the ball down from up top.
Yeah, as Browns are getting that beat on the last defender and even the demo, and that position for Chris, very well done. Dips it into the net, and it's a start that MINKZ are wanting here. Not so much for Morekats, but it was an even start up until that point. And now off the kickoff, we'll see what Blue could do with this, trying to put more pressure. Now Snowy, have to when you look out for this team, try to get it out, but here goes Brownsy from the double tap potential. Chris now off the corner, but not going to do much for him. Omit won't clear it long. And now Brownsy finds himself with dash and does give the ball away to the opposition though. And now Snowy, what can he do with this? He gets a follow-up touch into Vito. It goes high, and now Brownsy will get it out for the counter.
Well, a sign of a strong team in one of these divisions, especially at Champions Conference level, is active defence. When you're under some pressure, you're stuck in the defensive third, you make early challenges to prevent the team from getting opposition shots on goal. That is a great save there by Chris. Early to read that one, keeping it 1-0. Now Blue is going to send the ball up at the opposition backboard, cleared out into the corner, and Liavito will collect the boost and possession. Lifts a pass into midfield for Snowy, and that one could be headed the distance. It's a 2-on-1. Snowy went to try to finish it off themselves, but just didn't have the angle to shoot there. And MINKZ, I don't want to say they're comfortable at the moment, but the shooting opportunities that Morekats Gaming have had have not been good enough to win this series.
Yeah, it wasn't well crafted counter-attack as well at that, but in the end the shooting accuracy wasn't on point. But as I say that, with a little bit of help from the goalkeeper, will get the equalising goal. And you see that 1-2 pass from Liavito into Omit. Surely needed a little bit of assistance, but that was a goal to the win. At the halfway mark, it's now Morekats with their response.
Oh, good pressure there from Morekats. I mean, if you're taking 7 shots on target, regardless of the quality, eventually one of them's going to pay off. But here come MINKZ going the other way. Brownsy puts the ball over the crossbar. That's going to be an easy tap-in for Blue, and they restore their lead in quick fashion.
Yeah, straight off the kick-off, all guns blazing, and really the pace on all those players was immaculate, and Blue just has to clean up through duty. That third man, and now 2-1 up when it's quickly there. Morekats, they get that goal, and immediately MINKZ to respond, and they will get a third actually, because they straight from the kick-off just pinch it past the last man there.
Dear oh dear. Well, you are seeing the stuff of champions from MINKZ, just the ability to turn on the tap and get the goals flowing as they bag 2 in quick succession right after Morekats had equalised. There is still plenty of time left in this game one, so Morekats cannot afford to let their heads drop. This is still a winnable game for them in the series, but they are very much on the back for it right now as Brownsy goes up for this, and the rebound falls favourably for Blue. Liavito is up quickly to block it and will now receive the ball in midfield. 3-man passing play, they link up yet again, but can they send it goalwards? This is wonderful chemistry from the team, but unfortunately not to amount to anything.
Yeah, sadly, it will not amount to anything. It was looking so promising, and then you get that one poor touch, and it just ends there. And the pain will be dealt even deeper here as Brownsy with the long shot to make it 4 for the side of MINKZ. And, for Morekats, when they were starting to maybe get something special going in that midfield, it all comes crumbling down.
Yes, that long shot is a perfect example of how you don't need to pass it left and right sometimes to get a goal. If the net's wide open, just give it a whack and see what happens. And 3-goal lead now for MINKZ, and it's looking like normal service for them at the moment. Morekats have not registered a shot on target since they equalised. Liavito is going to try and change that by dunking the ball down towards the centre, but easy clearance for Chris, who is up to the halfway line. Loops the ball into the far corner, puts some pressure on Omit to keep it going, but nobody's home to receive it. And MINKZ don't really need any more goals in this scenario. This is one of the situations that we talked about at the beginning, where they don't need to press the issue too much. They can just play their usual game.
Yeah, for sure. They don't need to do much more at this rate. They've practically won the game, and you can tell that is the case because, from Morekats, they're playing pretty good, up until after that equaliser, and then from there, as you mentioned, no shots registered from them. It's quite odd to see, but I mean, when you watch this defense is looking so cluttered. It's an absolute mess. The boys seem almost completely lost in this scenario, and I would think that they would use this dying minute of this game to at least try and sort that out the best they can, because this second game, they've really got to step it up hugely, because I would say overall in this game, I'm not convinced by the performance, and it's not a performance that's going to get them the victory that is needed for them in this scenario.
Yeah, absolutely, and they have to think about the entire evening as well, not just this series, but the one that they have to play immediately after. And even if you lose this series, you still want to be putting in a good performance that indicates that maybe 4 times out of 10 you do get the series win, and it gives you more confidence heading into the other one, because one win may well be enough for them tonight. It looks like they're going to have a second goal here. It just about rattles in off the post. It will be Omit with 7 seconds to go. It's 4-2. Stranger things have happened, but I'm pretty sure this is still MINKZ's game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 7 seconds, technically, there is time on the clock, that is enough, but I do not think MINKZ are going to let it slip that easily. With the way out of nature, you see this kickoff, it is more than good enough. It will be a MINKZ Gaming victory here in game 1, 4-2, a late goal coming out from Morekats, but the hope is for them, and that will perhaps restore their confidence that they did lose in that game. And as we were mentioning earlier, of course, MINKZ, they're playing very solid Rocket League at the moment, and I mean, even though the shot count is relatively similar, I'd say MINKZ are absolutely the better team at the moment. It's down to Morekats really, you know, after the 1-1 equaliser, they really did not look up to scratch, and something big has got to change going into the next game and the series to come.
Yeah, absolutely. MINKZ Luminous have played a clinical game one. All 3 players involved in the offense and got on the scoreboard. 3 assisted goals as well. It looked like they never really got out of second gear, and as soon as Morekats got that equaliser, it was like the screw was turned and MINKZ Luminous just decided, right, we're going to go take the lead now, we'll go win the game. And Morekats simply had no answer to that. Of course, it may not necessarily be about beating the top seed to try and get yourselves into the playoffs, but they've got to build up some more confidence and start to play the Rocket League that they enjoy more.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, you look at the team really, I would have to say that they struggle to get all the players involved, especially Snowy. Now, he's one that I feel like a lot of people should be looking out for in this Morekats. Very capable player, but in that game he was so quiet, and you need to have all 3 of your players you know, getting into the play, and because you know, this is the team game after all. You don't have all 3 of your players on it, then I'm afraid to say that, you know, you've not got much chance of winning in this one, especially against a side like MINKZ that seem to know what's up here. They have a clear plan. But into game 2, Forbidden Temple, the venue for this one, and we'll see the response that Morekats can try and craft in this one. Is it Frownsy trying to get a touch into Chris, and now Chris still keeping this one down the field. It will be Omit now to put it out as I blew in for the Frownsy. Can't get up to that one. Snowy, well read from him. But it's MINKZ currently with that midfield control as Morekats desperately tried to get this ball out, and it will not be successful as Chris puts the early goal in.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before MINKZ got the opening goal of the game there. It's a great block there from Brownsy off the ceiling, and no Morekats player was prepared to read that ball in front, but of course MINKZ communicated it well, and Chris was on hand to tap home to give them the lead just 23 seconds in. Morekats are yet to leave their own half. We'll see if they can do so here. It's a creative touch up top from Omit, might have an angle to net, followed up on the wing, but MINKZ are going to get this all the way clear, and Liavito's in a little bit of trouble back there. Fakes out the attacking player though, that's good clearance from them, but ultimately rescuing your defensive ability doesn't get you goals at the other end.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and you know, I think Omit, you know, in the little time he's been in the opposing half, has done a good job trying to transition that ball into the opposing half, and so we'll be looking at him to do more of it, especially as he's the sole goal scorer on Morekats thus far in the series. And this is looking better. Snowy into Liavito. Man, the shot rattled off the post, and now looking to go in for more, but that play is more than over as now Liavito booming down the field, maybe over Chris. Snowy gets touched his own corner. But allows Snowy to enter the play here, touches it high. Here comes Omit off the back. We're looking for the double touch. Couldn't find that, and now Liavito on his teammates behind him. He gets the touch over to Snowy, but he misses it. Now Omit on this one, but it looks like this play is dead for now. But Morekats slowly but surely starting to get themselves into the game, you know, going for more of these opportunities until the confidence has restored a little bit, but they're still yet to find that goal they need to claw back into the game.
Yeah, this is a shaky period of Game 2 at the moment, because if MINKZ get a second goal, it's going to completely destroy any momentum that Morekats have rescued out of this. They have had more possession in midfield, and they're starting to get it into the offensive third, but still lacking the clinical finishing, and that can happen to a team once they're spending so much time on the back foot. You can pretty much forget how to attack going the other way. They are on the back foot once again, and it's going to be Brownsy to make it 2-0. And it's just a tale of 2 teams at the moment, really. Morekats spend a minute or so in the opposition third, and then MINKZ come up the other end one time, and they know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, second time that has happened in that sort of fashion, where Morekats are getting some good pressure going, and then as soon as it goes down the other way, MINKZ like, right, we're going to get this goal here, and they do exactly that. It was a nice read from Blue down into Brownsy to get that goal. So 2-0 with half the games to go. You can see Morekats, sorry, have the time to get back into it, but I mean, you know, thus far it's not looked very great for them. You've yet to register a goal. Sure, they've got the shots to show for that, but you've got to be slotting them in the back of the net at the end of the day, as it is Omit trying to get something going here now. Snowy with the touch. He does follow it up as well. Good pace on that. Brownsy will have it. Now Omit, yes, an opportunity. Got Liavito in the midfield. Now going to go off the corner wall. Can he find the centre? No, it's pinched all the way back down the other end. And 2 minutes to go now, Harvey. Morekats still struggling. It feels the same over and over again. They may have the opportunity now, but really, they got to be scoring sooner than later to get themselves back in it. And it might just happen as Snowy catches that loose ball and we'll get one back.
First defensive mistake there from MINKZ. The clearance attempt from Chris not good enough, and Snowy's on hand to tap home. Bit of a gift for Morekats Gaming, but it'll be interesting to see how they could potentially build on that foundations now that they've got themselves at least a goal in this game. Can they find a quick equaliser, or will the kickoffs be dominated by MINKZ again? That seems like a good answer, but it's not a goal just yet. Blue puts it off the backboard into the centre for Chris, and they pop it up top once again. This will be a clearance for Morekats, easily done by Omit, who might just cut inside. There's only one defender back, but Brownsy has made a solid save. Snowy taps home the rebound to make it 2-2. Morekats Gaming have come alive.
Yeah, they have. I thought that this would be an unlikely comeback, but Snowy doing a lot of work here, and yeah, perfectly placed shot, put it towards the left, behind all the defenders, and that's the quality of player Snowy could be here, and finally getting both goals for Morekats this one. Sure, one was off of a pretty big defensive mistake, but he did manage to secure that, and so Morekats now back in this, and they may well be able to steal it now, as we see like Viso take us onto the skies. He's going to go for the flip reset, but it can't do much with it. And now Omit coming in, trying to get around. There's Snowy there for the shot. Blue does manage to get it away. Approaching the final minute of this game, Morekats with some of the momentum of their side. Brownsy trying for the goal to pull his team back ahead, but it's not going to happen just yet.
Could be the biggest goal of Morekats' entire season if they can find the next one in this game too and level up the series. As it is right now, still deadlocked at a pair apiece. 50 seconds to go. Morekats do have possession where they want it. Snowy puts the ball into the middle, but it's a straightforward save by Blue. Chipped on by Chris towards the opposition net. Very nearly on target. That is a woeful clearance by Snowy, but makes up for it with a 50 win that takes Brownsy out of the equation. Chris tries to get this ball back into the centre, and it's a good clearance by Snowy this time. But 30 seconds to go. Morekats not really spending enough time in the opposition third. It is quite end-to-end stuff at the moment, though. I think either team still has an equal chance of winning this.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but Morekats currently, having less of the time in the opponent's half. Finally, they break through. Here comes Omit. He made this on his own, but Chris gets it. Now Snowy, very dangerous commit to Stormman. Omit must race back. He does just barely beat the attacker to the ball, and now he needs to buy some time. Like Vito is there for the clearance. It's still up. Big pre-jump from Omit. I think Chris will want to let this one die for overtime in this game, and this next goal of Morekats to score, as you said, Harvey, could be the biggest of their season yet. And right off the kickoff will be like Vito trying to get it through, but Chris has it blocked there.
Blue is going to try and send this ball further forwards, and they do have a teammate in the middle. Multiple Morekats defenders out to make the block there. Two MINKZ players rotating back on the near side. Snowy's going to put in a pass for Omit! Ties up the series. They rally from 2-0 down. Forbidden Temple has gotten the job done for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Snowy, I would say, the MVP of this game for sure. Brilliant tap into Omit and the finish as well. Fantastic from Morekats to bring that from 2-0 down. And now they have equalised the series. Never thought that would happen considering the way that last game was going. For Morekats, they make it work. They even just barely outshot MINKZ in that game, even though it didn't feel like that would be the case. But even still, Morekats, what a way to come alive into this series and really giving themselves a good run of momentum going into game 3 here.
Well, very good for their momentum for sure. The players themselves will be hyped up now heading into the third game of the series. We can guarantee that. But from an analytical perspective, it's quite difficult to tell if that was a legitimate series game win for Morekats, so to speak. Of course, MINKZ Luminous, this series being as close to a dead rubber as you can get for them. How do we know if they let their foot off the gas pedal a little bit in that second game of the series? Was it Morekats playing good Rocket League to get back into it, or was it MINKZ Luminous just deciding, well, when we don't need to try too hard to win this game, we're 1-0 up in the series, we're still very much in control of it. Game 3 here in DFH Stadium is going to tell a big piece of the jigsaw puzzle as to how the rest of it is going to go.
Yeah, because you were seeing MINKZ making some, you could say, really daft mistakes in that one, so that may allude to them letting off the gas a little bit. But I think this game will really be telling because it's a pivotal moment in the series, and they're going to get the first shot off, but easily saved by the Morekats defense. Like Chris, big pre-jump, Gets it off the corner now, like Vito needs to come into it, but he misses that. Blue, however, sends it well wide of the net, and now Omet forces two defenders up. It will be Frenzy to get onto this. Omet find a bump in, but will not interfere with it whatsoever. Snowy tries to get in. Also gets a demo. It's a 3 versus 1 situation, but double pre-jump from Morekats. What on earth is this play? It does work out though with the bump, and Live Vito credited for the first goal.
Well, Vito set the ball in motion, and as long as it's still heading towards the net, I suppose you don't need to do too much more with it. If the defenders in front of you will just fling themselves across the goal like that, anything works for Morekats, and it actually has them into a lead for what I believe is the first time in this series, and that might already be telling us that this team in orange is playing some pretty good Rocket League at the moment. They very nearly conceded an equaliser there, but strongly saved by Vito, and perhaps is this a little bit more urgency from MINKZ there? They are going to get the equaliser out of it, but I felt like that was a pace that we've not seen from them in the series.
Yeah, indeed. And we talk about a score from Blue, man, the speed on that one. And really with Morekats, they looked quite desperate in the defense there. But you could tell they have started to settle more into the series and match the pace. But I mean, MINKZ, they were very quick to bring that one back as well and really out-pressured them. And it's not the first time I've seen them do something like that. So quickly tied up here. I think MINKZ, they do mean business at this rate. They could see it earlier, like, okay, let's get ourselves back into it. And now, Morekats playing good Rocket League, I feel like we're finally going to see both these teams at full strength for the remainder of this series. As we now see Omet trying to get out, like Vito waiting for the back pass. It will be Snowy to cut in, but really that does not achieve much. It is a back pass with a lot of power behind it. Omet going to get it out, and now the bump onto Chris. It leaves it loose. Snowy will take his time, pick it up. There's a bump onto Blue, and this may be an opportunity if Snowy can get a decent enough pass into Omet. Can he get the shot? No, will be just put wide of the net. And now it will be the turn of MINKZ go on to attack this time.
Well, it was good creativity from Snowy there, but just overcooked the final pass. But certainly in the last couple of games of the series, they've been the star figure for Morekats Gaming, created numerous goal-scoring opportunities, and I think if they are going to win this game and perhaps even the series from here on out, Snowy is likely to be involved in the big plays. And with it being pretty much a best of 3 from here on out, individual mistakes are more costly than perhaps they would be at the beginning of the series. And now, as you mentioned, with both teams at full strength, potential mistakes could be dearly poorly. Into the middle, Crownsey is going to get across to make the save. It's a one-on-one scenario headed the other way, and straight back in off the opposition backboard. It is truly end-to-end stuff here as we approach the midway point of Game 3. We never predicted at the beginning of the series, but from what you're seeing at the moment, who do you think is going to take it?
At this rate, it's so hard to call. I'm still a little bit on the edge of MINKZ at the moment, but that could change at a moment's notice. I feel like Morekats are more susceptible to perhaps, conceding a silly goal off of an individual mistake or panicking at the moment. They do seem a little fragile in that department, so perhaps that could be the case. I mean, we may see it right now. Oh dear, Omet, what on earth just happened there? Completely misses that free ball, and I was just talking about a mistake like that, an individual one from Omet. It's MINKZ to get a practically free lead now.
Commentator's curse, that's what happened.
Yep.
You voodooed his steering wheel, and that was enough to make him miss the ball entirely. But there is the mistake, and that could be very bad indeed for Morekats Gaming as they now find themselves behind with 2 minutes to go in this Game 3. And they cannot afford to let their heads drop as it was in Game 1 where they went down. They've got to try and keep themselves at peak performance throughout this series, even if they are going to lose it overall. They need that confidence heading into their other series because they've got to get one series win tonight.
Yeah, they absolutely have to, and it may not have to be in this game when they get this, this win that they need. Sure, we put them ahead, but they still have 2 games after that. They're still going to do what they can to make anything of this game. 90 seconds and counting on the clock for them to get back into it. And Crownsey making life hell for them. It's like Vito misses that one. Omet has to get up to it, and Snowy will take over. What can he do with this? Perhaps has some boost to work with. Inevitably, Blue baits him in, but now with 0 boost himself, like Vito now going into the play. Now looking for the infield pass. It is off the back wall. Chris, poor touch. He is covered by Crownsey though, and now it will be into the centre. Chris backing off like Vito. Down at field, Omet looking to make the centre. It's missed by both players. Like Vito shooting opportunity. Blue blocks it at the near post. As into the final minute we go, and Morekats still pushing hard for this. And now Livito off the backboard. Here comes Omit. He does barely get a touch, but it's definitely not going to be good enough to find a scoring chance there.
They've got to be careful not to overcommit and concede on the counter-attack. 40 seconds is enough time to generate one more close play to the net. They don't have the ball at the moment, though. It's going to be Chris to shoot instead. Snowy is missed on the clear, but Livito will follow it up. Omit is in midfield, ready to challenge this ball, but misses it. Valuable seconds ticking off the clock there as there's a whole host of demos in midfield. That's going to favour MINKZ more than it does Morekats Gaming, because Morekats are trapped in their own corner right now. They've got to go end-to-end, but Chris is not willing to let that happen. Snowy's going to clear as far as the halfway line. There could be a break on here, but Omit tries to get out. Blue is just doing everything they can to keep the ball in the offensive third for MINKZ. 4 seconds now. Morekats have got to go end-to-end. Finally, they get the ball over the halfway line. It floats into the opposition corner. Blue tries to kill it. Omit will keep it up, and it's headed towards the net. Crownty has to make a reaction stop there, but the result does not change. MINKZ take the series lead back.
Yeah, they do indeed, and probably the most heart-breaking way possible from Morekats. Off of just, pushing slightly too up if you're Omit there, and I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself for that, but there are still games to be played. Sure, it is MINKZ a match point, but I feel like Morekats, they still can bring this back. I've been seeing a lot more, creativity, new ideas coming out from them when it comes to their offense, and that's something that is going to be key going forward. Of course, as for the defense, it's stabilized, absolutely. There's still some of the odd errors being made, but if they iron those out, then they can give this a really good crack and bring this to a 5th game and even a series victory.
Well, it's going to be a test of the Morekats mentality in this next game of the series, because when you concede a goal in that fashion, you're right, it's crushing. And the comms right now will pretty much just be the player saying, I'm sorry guys, it's my fault that we've lost that game, and the other 2 teammates trying to pick them up and get everybody back on side heading into this next game. If they concede the first goal in this one, it's going to be more of the same negative mentality in their VC. They've got to try and snuff that out, get on the board themselves and play a much more confident game forward and not have to chase it from behind.
Yeah, that is big. The first goal is going to really be of paramount importance. More to Morekats than MINKZ actually in this one. So let's see what will happen as it's in the orange corner to begin with. Livito going to dribble this one out, gets it past one. What else can he do with this? He goes for the flick, delayed it, and it will not work out. Omit now off the corner, gets a 2nd touch, maybe a 3rd. If only I had a boost in the tank to make that work, but now Snowy chips it past one, the 50-50, and 2 players on it. It's off the bar, will be cleared off the line. Huge chance coming out from Morekats, but they won't be able to make it past. They still have to pressure Snowy. Coming in for one more. Livito dives in, cuts him off, and this attack will die for Morekats. You feel like they absolutely should have scored in there, but yet this game opens still 0-0 at the 1 minute mark.
Crownty now to direct the ball down towards the net, actually on target. Reaction stop there from Livito. Chris is up for the rebound. This one's headed towards the net. What a finish that is. Just over 1 minute into this game, it is a lead for MINKZ. And I don't think there was much that Morekats could do about that.
Yeah, absolutely not. The positioning was so awkward for the defenders, and Chris just puts it in a difficult to reach place that was above their heads, just below the bar. And so great for Chris, recognizing that, picking a great spot to put the shot, and works out for perfection. Now you wonder how this affects Morekats. You can see that first goal, especially after having a golden opportunity to score. And now they have to come back from behind and get this win. It's like Vito. He comes up for this, a high touch. It will be Blue to tap it into the side. And now Chris down at field. Brownsy trying to be found. It is now Blue coming in. Gets it in on live Vito. Snowy now going in for it, but there's no one back at the moment. The respawn comes in. Chris gets a bit of centre, but brilliant read from Livito, and we'll put it end to end. Snowy now tries to drop it down, but unfortunate with the pinch. And now Morekats escaping a little bit of a scare there, and now find themselves back on the attacking end. Snowy comes in for it, puts it into Livito, taps it down, and if only Snowy could have waited a little longer, maybe he would have been able to sort it through.
Well, Snowy's creativity has been few and far between. They hit the post here, and finally they will get something to drop. I was just going to talk about the first couple of minutes of this game for Snowy, where they look consistently threatening down the wing, but then the end product isn't really there. The passes aren't quite on form. I think what they chose to do there was a much better decision. Just go for the shot. They need goals. Shots will get you goals. And even though they've hit the post on that occasion, there was a teammate there to follow up. If Morekats go more direct, they're going to have some success, because when MINKZ are forced onto their goal line, they're in some trouble. There's a great save there from Omit to keep the game at 1.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that sentiment though. That Morekats can maybe just, you don't need to overcomplicate it too much, just keep it simple. And, you know, with infield passes, that's basically, you know, as much depth as you need when it comes to attack. Because with MINKZ, they've shown that maybe they are not as comfortable as we maybe thought with dealing with certain kinds of shots. And now we do see Omit coming in. Oh my, what angle, but it rattles off the bar. And now it will be back downfield. Snowy booms it upfield. Here comes Vito late to that challenge though. And now you'll see Chris in the air. Ash Brown's to work with in the centre. It's contested in the air. Snowy has to get up for this. And now looking to put it down on his own. But now out to the side. Helmet off the ceiling. Chris coming in, and you still see Morekats pushing on through. Snowy off the backboards. No double to be found onto net though. And with 2 minutes to go still, it feels like Morekats are currently in the driver's seat, and it's about time they perhaps get on the board. And now Snowy, another infield pass, and 2 defenders being pushed up. You can see Morekats really pushing so hard to get this goal that they need.
Yeah, they're doing the right thing, sending every ball in the offensive half towards the net. Eventually it's going to pay off, because MINKZ are under a lot of pressure right now. Morekats just have to keep their cool and keep possession. They don't need the goal anytime soon if they keep it at 1-1 and they stay defensively solid. Eventually it will come. There is a demo in midfield there that's going to free up the ball for MINKZ though, and Blue skips in behind the defenders. Vito has missed it. Suddenly Morekats were all at sea there, but it looks like they're not going to be made to pay the price. Vito clears into the corner as we have just over a minute to go in game 4 of this series. The goal for MINKZ could potentially win it at this point. I think it could well be next goal wins with how it's gone so far. Omit is coming from the ceiling to try and read this one. Snowy tries to bank the ball back into the mixer from the wing. Instead it will be MINKZ going the other way. Blue trying to get that ball into the centre. Snowy's going to get possession back on the far side, and often creative on the wing, but still not able to get it all the way into the centre, and that has been a consistent problem for them in the series. Snowy now puts this one off the backboard, but nobody is home to receive it for the shot. Vito will get to it a little later, but with just over 30 seconds to go, the goal still hasn't arrived for Morekats game, and they might just be getting a bit worried now.
Yeah, and I can tell maybe at some point their impatience could come through, because they've been under putting so much pressure on, and they're thinking, God, when are we going to score? And I think patience is a virtue in this scenario. They just need to wait for the prime opportunity to come, and then they have to take it. As they do currently have midfield control, but overtime seems to be looming now as Omit gets a high touch. What more can he do with this? Contest it with Blue, and now he may choose to go down the ring, but I think it will die. Overtime now, a reset for both these teams, perhaps one that might favour MINKZ, considering how much pressure they were under. And off the kick of Vito having a chance. Snowy now up for it, but a little bit too slow to it. As now, press down to Prownsy. He goes for the long shot. Omit going up for it off his own backboard. And now Blue struggles to get control of it, but he will eventually have it. And now, what can Morekats do? It's Snowy again. The creative mastermind of this Morekats team can't do much else with that one.
Well, Morekats do already have an overtime win in this series, so I think MINKZ is still under pressure. Snowy hits the crossbar. That was such an opportunity. Will they be made to rue that missed chance? They're going to keep possession at the halfway line. It's Omit to try and put it into the centre. Didn't get the contact they were hoping for, and Chris will get it clear. How far clear? Only as far as Snowy. Can they atone for their miss? It's going to drop down in front of the net along the ground, but Chris gets across to make the clear. MINKZ, despite being on the back foot so much, their defence has remained consistent. They're going to get another save in here. Will the opportunity present itself for them on the counter-attack?
It doesn't seem to be the case, no, as Morekats desperately trying to keep possession. With time going by, I feel like MINKZ are starting to get a bit more panicked in the way of defending, making some pretty dodgy touches, but still remaining somewhat consistent. They were able to at least get up to the saves and make them, but I think with Morekats, if they keep this up, then eventually that MINKZ gaming side is going to crumble. As now it's boomed down into the Morekats. You can tell so much control that they have. MINKZ consistently booming the ball away to the opposition, having no real sense of control. Whereas Morekats, they're really taking their time with the ball and trying to generate as much as they can out of each of them. Still, MINKZ keeping them at bay for a little while now as Zoe finds stuff for possession over Chris. And now Blue not able to get the touch. Zoe still battling on forward. Here's Vito, not the best challenge though in his opponent's corner. Now Brownsy with a huge flick over up forward. This will be Snowy off the post. And now Vito has to dribble this one out. Huge chance from MINKZ now going begging there. And now Snowy gets his flick reset off the backboard, puts it into the middle, but no one there to receive.
Blue now, out of harm's way for MINKZ. Chris may get a ball into the centre. Brownsy's in for it. This one's deflected towards the net. Turned against the crossbar by Omet and away to the corner. Another 50 win there is going to get the ball out for Snowy. And now Morekats Gaming have the ball where they want it. Chris has gotten weak clear into the corner. It's coming back into the centre and Omet has gone up for it early. Dunks it down. Snowy's there in front. Vito needs to rush back here. Both the Morekats defenders just trying to keep possession. They're very close to each other there, but they're going to make it work. Up to the halfway line. Omet keeps the ball moving. Snowy's up for it off the backboard, but Brownsy with the early touch to make the clear. Vito dunks it down in front, but as per usual, MINKZ have got a defender in there to intercept the shot attempt. Snowy drops it down for Omet! 2-2, the series is level. Morekats Gaming have kept themselves in it with another OT thriller.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic play again from Snowy, dropping it into Omet. Those two liking up, amazingly well in this series, and what a way to win it. It felt like they deserved to win that game after so much effort they put into the offense, many close chances. And in the end, they're the ones that are going to be sending themselves to a deciding fifth game. And what a match from all three of those players. Omet, Snowy, and Vito, fantastic. But MINKZ, it is also credit to, because that defense held for so long in there, and it took what was a very intelligent play for the Morekats Gaming to finally bring them down.
Well, the mentality, if it hadn't changed already, and I suspect that it did in going forward a series, you need one series win tonight. This may as well be it now. One game and you've done it against the team that is going to be the top seed from the Champions Conference 3. It doesn't get much better than that. And in terms of the gameplay, Morekats Gaming had their best game of the series just now in Game 4. I'm hoping that they haven't used up all of their offensive gusto in this Game 4 just to get those couple of goals. I think there is still room for improvement again from MINKZ, who have shown that when they can actually get forwards, there's big opportunities for them to score. So it will be really interesting then heading into this Game 5. I'm just wondering if one of these two teams, if they can generate the early momentum, there might be a couple of quick goals on the line, and then Game 5 could be done and dusted in the first minute or so.
Yeah, that could very well be the case, but I'm really hoping for like a more dragged out game, and that's maybe what the teams are going for here. And maybe that would favour currently Morekats, in the long term, when it comes to those long stints of gameplay without goals. That's where they seem to have the advantage here, because they went so long without scoring and still match a hold strong. But into Game 5, there's Morekats to try and set the tone early. Snowy tried to get it into the centre. And now it's back to the field. Chris, the shot is high. Omet has to dive in for that. Now Snowy up once more, and MINKZ will have their chance taken away there. Has very quickly the Morekats have had to dial back. And now still pressure here. Omet tips it over. It will be Blue now turning into the play. Looking for a player infield, but Omet had that read by a mile. And now is a touch for Chris up. Vito with the contest there. Blue now. What can he do with this? He was so defensive in the last game, but already getting himself involved in the attack. Omet trying to find Vito, doesn't get a touch here, and already back and forth action in this first game already. You can tell MINKZ, after the last one, definitely want to be finding themselves more in attack going into this one.
But you can see the intensity levels between the two teams at the moment are slightly different. MINKZ are just trying to keep up with the Morekats team right now that is fighting for their playoff lives. It does feel like a playoff series at the moment with the way this Morekats team is operating at speed. They don't have the goal to show for it yet, but all three players are committing high up the pitch to try and make it happen. And it is a case of, well, surely the MINKZ defense is going to break yet again. Here is a shot off the bar. Omet has given Morekats the lead. 1 minute 20 in the Game 5.
What a shot from Omet. Great finish, and it's such a precise shot as well. You think Blue could have easily gotten up to that one, but puts it in a good spot. Maybe it could be a better shot, sure, but he did what he could. The defender made a mistake, and we were talking about that the MINKZ defense one way or another might finally break down, and that's where it happened there when it was one back. And now it is MINKZ to try and get it back again. Chris coming in for the shot. It's off the post, but it will be cleaned up by Brownsy. And MINKZ will tie it up so quickly in this one, and we know there's fast responses. 1-1 now.
Yeah, there was two Morekats defenders there, making the early challenge again, but this time missing it, and I think that was bound to happen eventually. They'd put a wall up on the halfway line for about 7 minutes of game time, and finally there is a crack in the wall shortly after they took the lead in Game 5. We'll see what effect this has perhaps on MINKZ going forwards themselves, but it looks like they've turned possession over. Omit goes for the back pass to Snowy, that looks to have worked out well. Dunked down in front of the net, Livito went for the shot. It's too high and wide. Prownsy will get across to make the clear, but gives the ball away in front of the net again. Snowy's going to shoot. There's nobody home. Omit will make absolutely sure, and it's 2-1 to Morekats.
2-1 here, man. Snowy coming in with a massive challenge. It takes it on the blue. That's very smart. You know, perhaps reading that blue is the challenge high on that one. Puts it underneath and gets a perfect bounce into the net. And you know, Omit just going to be securing that goal off the line, making absolutely sure it goes in, and that is big for Morekats there. Not the clearest goal ever, but it will absolutely do for them. And now actually fending off MINKZ early in the kickoff, and will be able to maintain this lead at the moment as Omit drops it into Livito. What a finish, top right. And it is Morekats now starting to run away with this one.
They are coming into their prime at the perfect opportunity in this series as they now lead by 2 in Game 5. Just playing their best Rocket League at the end of the series, as opposed to MINKZ, who may well have played their best Rocket League at the beginning. And you can see which team's game plan has had more success, as the team in orange has a multi-goal lead as we approach the halfway point of Game 5. There is still time for MINKZ, and of course, they are champions for a reason, so we can expect to see a response from them. But as long as Morekats have the ball in the offensive third, they'll be confident. This one is very much headed in the opposite direction. Chris is on hand to perhaps put it towards the net, but that's not going to be threatening the defenders. Blue will have to tap it back into their own corner, and so far so good for Morekats.
Yeah, absolutely, and they have half the game still to play, and honestly, they keep this going, this kind of play style, and they are golden in this one, as they have in the last 30 seconds at least. They've been playing extremely well, and look, they're playing even better. Livito gets his second off the game, off of Snowy's touch again. And you see Snowy, absolutely brilliant speed, gets a perfect touch, and Livito gets it far down. And you know what, MINKZ, you can tell they're so out of it here. Morekats just coming alive. They are on fire and seemingly unstoppable in this game as we have 2 minutes left to play.
Yeah, it didn't happen quite as quickly as perhaps I predicted at the beginning of Game 5, but certainly the momentum is with Morekats at the moment, and MINKZ's efforts defensively, particularly that lengthy overtime, just seem to have gotten to them. That was an opportunity to get a shot on target that goes begging, and it will stay 4-1 at least for now. Chris's shot is deflected towards the net. Livito will get across to clear. Blue looking to centre it. Prownsy is waiting in the middle, but they've gone up for it very early. That will be easy pickings for Snowy to make the clear with 1:40 to go. A 3-goal deficit for the Champions Conference 3 leaders to overcome.
Yeah, and it seems like it's almost impossible. Sure, they're the leaders, sure, they're seemingly the best, but Morekats is making them look real silly in this one, as it is Crystal. He might have a chance. Finally, it will be goal number 2 from MINKZ. Casters scores once again, and maybe they've given themselves a burst of life here. A minute 16, so it's within the realms of possible to get back into it. Perhaps a lucky break in that one. But now they've reduced that gap. 2 goals to go to just tie it up. It's a big mountain from MINKZ gaming to climb, but considering how they performed early in the series, you can maybe think they have it in them to do that.
Well, Livito is going to clear this ball in the direction of Omit, who looks for Snowy in front of the net, but Snowy couldn't get the shot on target. That could have been game, set, and match right there. Instead, it is Chris sending a hopeful ball towards the opposition net. Here it comes off the backboard, and if MINKZ get one back here, things will get very interesting. The shot isn't on target initially. Blue will look to cut it back for Prownsy without boost. Chris also operating without the juice, but nothing doing on that occasion as Snowy will get it clear. Livito helps it on. The link-up play is very strong. Snowy cuts inside and scores a wonderful goal. Their first of this Game 5, and the 3-goal lead is restored.
Yeah, Snowy, he's been, so good in these last few games. He's already been involved now. That's a 4th goal of 5 that he's been involved in, been setting up his teammates for all the other ones so far in the series, and finally he's like, yeah, I want myself to get a goal. And now with a 3-goal lead, half a minute to go, it seems like all but over for MINKZ this one, and Morekats will get themselves ever closer to guaranteeing a spot in the playoffs. Another shooting shot is coming from MINKZ, but it is going to be stopped. regarding for Omit and crew here. So they tried to go for a fancy goal there to celebrate, but my words, you're thinking that this one could have ended in 3 even, the way it was going earlier, but Morekats, their mentality stayed strong. They brought the series back even though they were 2-1 down, and you had some thrilling games as well. And I gotta say, they're gonna be holding their heads high going into the series against the Central Squad in a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm Descenso squad and I'm watching this series, I'm thinking, man, Morekats look like they're in good form coming out of this one. I don't think it could be any better for Morekats in terms of their preparation for their second series of the evening. They've lit a fire under themselves in this Game 5 and hit the division leaders for 6. They're going to be warmed up going into their next series because it'll be a much shorter gap having gone to Game 5. They move into a playoff position with that victory, +1 on the game win difference, has them 2 clear of Domino Esport, and they sit comfortably in 5th position. A well-deserved series victory for them, coming from behind overall to make it happen. And I think the difference maker between these two teams at the end of the day was the 2 overtime wins that Morekats Gaming got to keep themselves in the series. When it got to the extra frame, MINKZ very rarely got forwards, and Morekats just had the possession in the vital moments.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this game where if you have a close series, you have those overtimes. Usually, teams that are winning those clutch situations are the ones that will eventually go on to win the series. It's a sign of a strong mentality where pressure's on, where a lot of teams will tend to play a lot more passive. They go out there, they show a lot of confidence and they get those wins that they need. And Morekats did that spectacularly. A Game 5 victory. I gotta say, hats off to them. And of course, MINKZ, they'll still be first overall. It's not the end of the world for them, as we did mention. This series means basically bugger all to them. But they will stay up in first, whereas Morekats, they're just a step closer to securing themselves a playoff spot. So very well done to them. But that'll do it for this series. Up next on stream, as we'll get up the schedule, we do have Master Esports Cosmic versus Fort Templar Samurais in Division 2.2. Yet another game that could be so decisive for how these teams will end up in the playoff berth. So we're going to take a very short break. We'll be back very shortly.